Why are there tests? I love this question because I hate tests. Typically, holistically, I hate tests. But I even didn't use the T word, the test word. When I first made it, it just became very confusing. I called it a phase line evaluation, something like that. I didn't think people would like tests. They love them. Meaning, I've had people say I've been in shooting programs before that are supposedly elite level, they're advanced level, and there's still people doing muzzle sweeps. They're pointing their gun at me, their loaded gun at me, things like that. That can't exist. In my background, that does not exist. It means it's got to go. So when we're talking tests, it means whatever we've trained on, we're going to have a test. They start off not very challenging. Why? Because it's just basic stuff. It's not a whole lot going on. It just means you got to be safe. We can never flex on safety, but it means on that capability, we're not asking much on that first test. Do you know how your firearm works? Can you shoot just reasonably well and get the bullets going where you tell them to go, at least in the neighborhood, right? Then you go to phase 2, now we're talking about dynamic pistols. So there's gonna be shooting and moving going on, that test's gonna be a little bit harder. As adults, we don't really get tested. After college, we don't really get tested where we could actually fail and it kind of stings. So that's another whole thing going on that I'm absolutely intrigued by, is that some people don't pass several times, but they stay at it. They grit their teeth, they work at it, they come and they practice, then they do, and it's a bigger deal. You get a certificate saying you can now move on safely to the next phase. It would be unsafe for the people in phase 3 to not defend the standard of phase 2. Because if you're not safe to move into there, you got no business moving into there. It's unsafe for you and them. So we make sure that there is a test that replicates the training. Then you go into phase 3 and we can safely assume that you're not going to cause harm. So to enhance that capability safely, there is going to be a standard. Whether it's Valuable Shepherd or our nation, somebody has to set a standard, then they have to defend it, and that's me. Right? So those are those standards. We think they're fair. We know they're doable. I've never had anybody complain about a standard after they passed it. People are like, oh, why do we do this? Well, there's a reason for everything we do. And then I ask that person that finally passes that standard, and I say, do you want me to change it? They say, don't touch it. They get to own that they worked on it, that they failed, they felt that sting, they got encouragement from their peers, they came back, and then on the day a couple I can think of right off the top of my head, on the day they passed, there was a celebration by everybody. You probably hear the screaming down the hall, yeah, awesome, whatever. That capability is now in them, and it wasn't given to them, they had to earn it. So I love tests. Here, not a big fan of tests still, but as far as test and a capability and then someone else honoring you with a certificate saying, welcome into this next phase of training, they're here to stay. They must be here. We developed the standard, we set the standard, and we defend this standard, and it's worth it.